Hi, this is Jenna.
And this is Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked. And today, we are going to learn about...
Atlantis!
The Lost City?
Yes!
Like in the Disney movie?
You know it!
Oh my god, I love that. I mean, I don't really remember it because I was with my boyfriend in the theater at the time. When that came out, I was like 14, so I was too nervous about him holding my hand than paying attention to the movie. But that's all I got in Atlantis. Do you have more information? Is there a city of gold? Is the city of gold in Atlantis? Or are there multiple cities of gold?
Well, it's not gold. It's zinc and copper, but we'll get into it.
Really? Oh, yeah.
We will. So
wait, so they think it was gold and it was a lie?
It was zinc, copper, and crystals.
Okay, I want to hear about it then.
Zinc, copper, and crystals.
Because I swear to God, the Disney movie is called Atlantis, the Lost City of Gold.
I mean, they probably had gold, but zinc,
I'm
copper,
sure, you know what? I think that what happened was that they saw it reflecting off the ocean and thought it was gold, so they all went like down looking for it, and it was a lie. Because you know who lies to us? Everybody.
No, it wasn't a lie. They did find some artifacts.
Just continue
from Atlantis.
Forward.
We'll get there. That's like on page 5. So Atlantis was
page 5 of our novella.
Novella.
I love novellas. Go on.
So do I. Have you watched Velvet?
No.
So Velvet, if y'all haven't watched it yet, Velvet
on
is
Netflix?
On Netflix. It's a novella. It is subtitled, and it's intoxicating.
No, Who Killed Sarah is.
I have watched Who
Did
Killed
you?
Sarah.
Yeah!
Yes! Oh my gosh, how funny. I didn't know you watched that.
Oh, I was obsessed. I watched it the first 2 seasons, and then it was grueling to wait. I waited for the next 2 seasons after that. But novellas always end at like season 4, so you get to a conclusion, and I love that. No, I love that because there's an end. It's not like Days of Our Lives where it lasts for 28 years. Like,
I don't know. I like when a good story keeps going.
My mom died before she found out what happened at the end of All My Children.
Oh my gosh.
Because she'd only been watching it since 76.
Well,
see? I like an ending.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Okay. Continue forward, please. I want to hear.
So we're going to continue forward with Atlantis. And yes, watch Velvet. Watch all your favorite novellas. But Atlantis was first described by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato.
Really?
Yeah, so
Did he go down there?
Did Plato go where? Atlantis?
Yeah.
No, because Atlantis was long gone by the time Plato was, like, alive.
I mean, did he dive down in there?
No.
How does he know about it?
So, the Egyptians told Plato about it.
Ooh.
Yes. So, Plato lived between 492 BC, 347 BC and 492 BC. So, this is like way back in the day. And Atlantis is an oceanic empire which lie between the Pillars of Hercules.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
that's
we're getting
another
into
Disney movie.
So it's also
gods. I love it.
Exactly. Also known as the Straits of Gibraltar, which I'm probably saying that wrong, but
Gibraltar.
The Strait of Gibraltar
is a
narrow channel that connects to the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea, separating Europe and Africa. So you can imagine on a map, where are we at?
I know exactly where we are.
So Atlantis is believed to have existed around 9,000 BCE. Before Common Era! I know.
I taught her something, guys.
I know.
You didn't know if you listened 5 episodes ago or so, I taught her that.
Or it could be in the future.
No, it's already been aired.
Oh, okay, never mind. Because we're always recording like way in advance. So the capital of Atlantis was known as the island of Atlas.
No shit.
That was the capital. And it was named after a mythological titan who was...
Sorry. I got excited, guys. I'm sorry. Go.
It was a mythological titan who supported the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
What's his name? Eros?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Am I right? Eros?
Yes.
Am I really right?
Although
I love my Greek mythology. It's a thing.
There's a lot of Greek mythology in this one, babe.
Greek mythology.
Oh yes, we're getting into it.
I'm so excited.
We are getting into it.
I can't wait. I'm just like, I'm dying inside.
Yeah.
I was actually right. I'm never right on
I believe so.
trivia.
Yeah, Eros is like the air. Yeah, and it's holding the.
It's not on your paper. Like you weren't going to tell me the truth.
No, but I remember reading it, and I believe that it is.
Oh God, it's probably not. Is it Aries
I don't know,
or Eros?
We'll have to fact check
there's Aries
that.
and then Eros.
I think it's Eros, but we'll fact check it.
Oh my God.
But although
I am now, I face palmed Heather, by the way, guys, just so you know, because I thought she was going to finish her sentence and tell me the right answer instead of being like, yeah, you're right.
No, I think you are because I remember.
Doesn't even know.
No, this is the thing. As I'm researching, I'm reading a lot and I'm typing, but I'm not typing everything.
No, you can't.
And I do recall the name Eros, so I'm assuming you're on the right track and we're on the same page. And I believe that is a Titan that was holding up the sky in Atlantis. Like that was what the name was. But I can't confirm, so we'll have to fact check that. But I believe you're right.
No, I think I am right.
Yeah, I believe you are right. So, although often referred to as an island, many scholars and researchers have actually said it was a continent. The Atlantis was not an island; it was a continent.
What deciphers the difference?
Well, the size, the mass, the land
mass.
mass.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
You don't know
I don't know what map they used. I don't know what map they used.
What makes it different?
I don't know, but it was just much larger than once believed.
Okay.
And the landscape was very rich in mountains and forests, and it actually had a dormant volcano. This volcano was 34 miles wide by 23 miles long. So it was like on volcanic, almost like, I don't want to say Hawaii, but kind of like, you know how Hawaii has like a lot of, like it's an island. I have lots of questions. And it has
I have
like
lots of comments.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
You don't want me to wait?
You can wait. Okay, let me finish. I just have like this little paragraph on page 1, and then we will continue.
Sorry. I have questions.
No, I know. I'm telling you.
I have concerns.
Atlantis is a fun one.
I have a thought. I know. I've been
very
super excited. Guys, we were like literally in my kitchen, and I was like, we have to go do Atlantis. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I'm going to die. Let's just go.
So the city had also an advanced network of canals for agriculture. So they knew how to do like crops and everything. Like they were very advanced culture. So imagine the way that their city was built would be
like Venice?
The several rings of artificial lands, meaning that like there was land mass there, but then they built it up, and then like the largest being the perimeter with like a huge wall around it to protect them, and then it would be like water. And then it would be another land mass.
It's like moat and then
keep going to where the center was the imperial residence of the empire. That was like the center. Atlantis was the capital of the Oceanic Empire. And they even had a horse rack trace.
Horse track.
What did I say?
Mom, what's a rack? What's a horse rack?
A horse track. Like where they race
racing horses. I know that.
Okay. They even had that. They had bridges. They had watchtowers, and they had a huge fleet of like boats and like military and everything because they were like they had to protect like their land and everything.
Can I talk now?
Yes.
Okay,
please.
perfect. Okay, so what if? So how it all sunk down into the ocean?
Yeah.
I wonder if the land canals made sinkholes. I wonder if the volcanoes made it to where things like, went away underneath the ground. And I wonder if it just sunk down slowly. And I wonder if it sunk, and that's why and then because and this was before I heard about the circles up.
Yeah.
I almost want to say pyramids, but before I heard
They
about
had
the
pyramids.
Okay.
They had in the center was a pyramid.
Okay. So
a crystal pyramid, actually.
So I wonder if it just like slowly went down, and then people found the top, and now they're finding more and more, and that's why they're like, fuck, it was a whole fucking continent instead of just this little tiny...
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, like the progression of like it,
Yeah, because it sounds like it was a progression of like...
Yeah.
You know, like
it was moats,
a mile round, and then it was 3 miles round, and then it was 4 miles, like a tiered cake.
It was much bigger
like
than
a
miles, though.
Cake.
Yeah, it was like a tiered cake.
I'm just trying to like visualize it for people. Like, you know, when you put it onto a smaller level, because they can't see our hand motions that I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, we're doing a lot of
hand motions. So I'm trying to be like, okay, so it was like a tiered cake. And there's like 10 tiers. Mm-hmm. And in between each tier was a moat.
Yes.
And they also had canals. And they had this and all sorts of stuff. And it was like a
lot of water. They were like they were
so that's like a fucking sinkhole in itself.
It's a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, like,
exactly.
What are you doing? Like, they obviously didn't have science.
No, they had a lot of science. That's the other part.
They didn't have a sinkhole science.
They had a lot of science.
They just had... That's probably why we know about sinkholes now. Okay, go on. That was just my only thing. I understand. That's why it probably went down, was because... Yeah, go on.
So, Atlantis Empire was governed by 10 kings. All of these 10 kings were direct descendants from a sea god named Poseidon. Okay, so we get back into it. I know.
Go on.
So these kings and the gods' rules prevented the kings from declaring war on each other. So because of their laws were so strict, and they were actually very like cohesive. Like they lived together very peacefully.
Do you know why? So I bet this is what happens. I'm gonna foresee the rest of your paper.
Okay. We're on page 1.
Poseidon gets pissed at the fact that they were not cohesive together, and then one king was like, and the other king was like, fuck you, and the other king was like, stab, and the other king was like, kaya, and then Poseidon was like, fuck you, and it's like a cake crumbling down, like a bug cake.
Because Poseidon controls the ocean and the water, so you think he just flooded everything. He's like, fuck you,
let's try again. Find different kings, motherfucker.
Right.
Okay, that was I honestly have no idea where Heather's going with this. That's my predictive.
Well, the research shows that these gods prevented the god Poseidon and other gods, because Poseidon was the founder, but there was like many mythological gods. They prevented the kings from declaring war on each other, and they required them to take a union action against any outside enemies. So they you got to think there's 10 kings. There's 10 like clans almost, you know.
Yeah.
And they 10 provinces or 10 communities.
I wonder
or 10
if it was
whatever
10 tiers of
and
the
they
cake.
and they come together, and if anybody tries to fuck with them, they come together, and they're like a very strong army, because it's not one.
It's almost like the United States of America. We have the president, but then we also have all the governors and shit. And
that is a good way of putting it. Yeah.
But I wonder if each tier had its own king.
I feel like they were more powerful than the United States, though. Like the way that it's described, it's more powerful. So, they had an empire they had an emperor, not an empire. Well, it was an empire, but they had an emperor who was like the final decision maker, and they had a military of over 79,000 soldiers, which included foot soldiers, archers, javelin throwers. They had horses, they had chariots, they had thousands of ships, and Atlanteans is thought to have stretched from what now we would call Northern America. Back then, obviously then it wasn't Northern America, but Northern America to Michigan, all the way to Mexico, Colombia, Italy, Egypt, pretty much all of the fucking world.
It was all Atlantis?
Well, what the thing is, where they were located was where they were located, near the Bermuda Triangle. But with their ships, they had explored all these areas.
Oh, okay.
And they had...
I thought you were saying Atlantis was that big from here to fucking Italy.
No, it wasn't that Atlantis was that big. It's just it had stretched in the sense that they had explored.
Okay.
So they were great explorers of the world, basically.
Cool.
And those specific places they were thought to have explored because specifically, for example, Michigan is known for having copper mines. And, like, their pyramids they built had copper. So, like, they didn't have copper where they were.
From?
Exactly.
Yeah, they
and
had
they
to get it from somewhere.
Exactly. And back then, there wasn't, like, a huge trade. I mean, to my knowledge, there wasn't, like, a trade. So, the only way to get these different, like, resources from different places, especially if you live on an island or a small continent, you have to travel.
Yeah. So,
that was, like, kind of where they got that they believed that that's where they spanned. So with that being said, they spanned more territories and more people, more than the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire is known to like have like a huge reign.
I feel like the Roman Empire is way too big, like for what it actually was. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I feel like their ego is just way too large.
But they still fell, though. Like,
exactly.
they still, all that, and they still fell. So, Plato did learn about Atlantis from Egyptians. Atlantis was 9,000 years before Plato's time. So, the only way Plato would have known is from other people's accounts.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't have directly
like the hieroglyphics.
Yeah, he wouldn't have met them. So it was 9,000 years before, and Plato wrote about the lost continent or island of Atlantis in two of his most famous writings. He wrote those around 360 BC. He states that Atlantis was founded by Poseidon, as we stated, and governed by the laws of the kings, and Poseidon, which were written on, get this, pillars made of orichalcum. Orichalcum.
Isn't that white ivory?
No. Orichalcum is 80% copper and 20% zinc.
I am completely off then.
Okay. Number one, where did they find zinc and copper?
Yeah.
Okay.
How did they melt it together?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's my machine. My machine shop.
You just hit the nail on the fucking head. You want to know why? The word orichalcum translates to unknown origin. Almost alien origin. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because even though this copper, zinc, orichalcum mixture, it was more of a copper tint, they had no way of making this and obtaining this. So these pillars that were made of this unknown origin were located in the center of Atlantis on the pyramid. It was actually known as the Temple of Poseidon. So the center, you got to imagine the rings like we discussed with the moats, and then you have the center, and the center there's a huge pyramid. This pyramid is a crystal pyramid, but it also has the orichalcum, okay? And it has a statue.
But where did the crystal come from?
That we're getting to there.
Okay.
It has a statue of a horse with wings,
Pegasus,
exactly, a god, you know, almost like they're like on it, like with it, they're, you know, like depicted. I guess Poseidon. I don't know what. I didn't really get the name of who it was supposed to be or what it was supposed to be.
Many.
But who?
It could be many different ones.
It could be many, exactly.
Many different ones that had Pegasus.
So these pillars were located in the Temple of Poseidon, as stated, and the pillar was known to flash red, like a red light.
Like a lighthouse?
Obviously, they didn't have electricity, or did they? Okay. What was this pyramid doing? How was this energy being moved around, okay? So you got to
Copper.
imagine this flashing red
The copper
crystal
and the zinc
pyramid.
together, and
Okay,
so
you got
like
the visual.
electricity and shit.
You got the visual
Yes.
going, right?
You're
okay.
totally gonna tell me about electricity, huh?
We're getting into it. So later, much later, in 2015. Okay, we're doing a little jump right now.
We're doing like a centuries of jumps.
I know. Don't worry. We're gonna be.
We're in the goddamn new world now.
Yeah, we're gonna be jumping back and forth a little bit. FYI, people. So just follow along. Okay. Later, much later, in
2015,
off the coast of Sicily,
which is right where Atlantis would have been.
Oceanographers.
Oceanographers.
Thank you. Found a shipwreck.
Shut up.
With metal made of
Copper.
orichalcum.
Really?
It was believed
That's
that
so
this.
exciting.
Yeah, I know. It was believed that this metal was of the gods. Obviously, Poseidon. Right?
I wonder if the gods were the aliens.
And the gods taught man how to make it. And you want to know why? Zinc, it's not a natural substance. Zinc is actually found naturally, yes, but as a sulfur mixture. And they would have had to know how to separate the sulfur from the zinc, and then how to mix the copper with the zinc to then create the orichalcum.
Fucking science.
So, which is just further evidence that the gods or ETs taught them how to do metalwork or blacksmith, because the technology was not yet understood.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't even. I mean, we can obviously meld things together and stuff, but could you imagine, like, being a chemist and having to do that? I've been watching a lot of Breaking Bad lately.
Yeah.
And that literally is what that is. It's like copper and shit. Like, yeah.
Chemistry.
Science, bitch.
Well, it's been thought, like, all throughout, like, history that, we were taught these things by an advanced civilization. These things meaning science and technology that we did not yet have or possess, and that it was given to us by the gods. Now, Atlantis also used crystal pyramids to harness powers and energies from the earth, similar to the Egyptians. Pyramids, depending on their utility, and were generally made of marble, granite, and complex crystals. More so, I found evidence of quartz crystals in my research. They were 3-sided pyramids, sometimes 4-sided, and they were used as antennas to draw and amplify energies and feed them into the grid of the homes, factories, and create energy fields for various utilities. So Atlanteans harnessed the energies of the pyramids, which they themselves built, using harmonic-like crystals. That these crystals received power from the energy field system or from each other. And they basically made power grids that were often marked by each pyramid throughout the world, where they ultimately connected to each other, similar to the Egyptians.
Do you think that they could have talked to the Egyptians through it somehow, like sent like Morse code or some sort of signal?
They did send signals, and we're going to get into it. Specifically, they even sent their version of like a telescreen or like images, like holographic images.
Wow.
Yeah. So
they were doing solar before solar was popular.
They were doing everything before everything was popular, because it's also said that this technology is Well, I'll get into it a little bit deeper.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot.
We have to wait.
Yeah. So the Atlanteans use this energy combined with crystals to transmit the energy from one pyramid to another, or possibly to aliens or ETs, and to enable to enter and leave the planet. So they did have supposed like alien technology crafts that were able to fly to space and beyond and wherever, maybe another dimension, I'm not sure, but they were able to leave the planet and this realm and this earth. It all depended on the tilt of the Earth's axis at the particular time of year. So one pyramid would function to intensify and transmit energies to another pyramid that would act as like the receiver, and they would disperse the energy as needed. The opposite would apply when the pyramid was at an unfocused point in their celestial alignment, and then the pyramid would again, it would just basically be like a transmitter, like almost think of your radio waves or cell towers or satellites. It was its own technology, but it was like similar where everything was connected, where you have like a satellite in the orbit and it connects, like your cell phone connects to everything.
That makes sense.
Similar to that. Mm-hmm. It was basically a matrix crystal grid system because they use crystals, and the energy was used for various purposes. In the beginning, it was like a spiritual tool, and then people would like kind of recharge themselves spiritually and like align themselves, almost you say like your chakra, or just like emotionally, like they would telepathically communicate with each other, and it would like recharge them like their third eye. But they were very peaceful people. They were very developed with their physical bodies, and they used the crystals, like I said, to rejuvenate their bodies, and they were actually able to live hundreds of years while keeping a youthful appearance, is due to the methods that they used with the crystals and how they harnessed the crystals' energy. Later, the crystals were put to other uses. And this is where we get into what you asked. The currents of energy were transmitted through the land like radio waves, and powered these crafts, like we said, could go to space and could travel the land, maybe dimensions through the sky and universe, under the sea. Like we talked about in our some of our other episodes, they could go under the sea with the USOs, and reportedly they could go at the speed of sound wherever they wanted to go. By utilization of other currents from this great crystal, which was the Great Pyramid, which was in the center of the
city of Atlantis.
Yes. The Atlanteans were also able to transmit over great distance the human voice and pictures similar to modern television.
Wow.
So, in the same manner as even heat and light could be directed to specific buildings or arenas, giving illumination of like inside lights. They could give warmth, like a heater, AC, or not AC, but like a heater, you know.
It's just electricity.
Yeah.
They had electricity.
They were able to create all of that with the pyramids and with the specific crystals and the copper zinc components that they basically learned how to create from the gods or ETs. Atlantis is now thought to be, or a long suspicion, or scientists believe it's in the Bermuda Triangle on the ocean bottom. So that's where the ruins of Atlantis now are thought to be existing, and there is a huge energy buildup in that area, and they have actually found crystals which have triggered materialization of many different things, anything like from plane crashes to shipwrecks to loss of time to
that's
like
where Amelia Earhart went.
So many conspiracies just around the Bermuda Triangle. but specifically linked to the reason why is because of what the Atlanteans built with the pyramid. That is what's causing it. It's not the Bermuda Triangle. It's the crystal pyramid and its components of what is actually in the ocean that is sunken there. That's what it is. That's what the anomaly is.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
It's very amazing.
It's interesting that these crystals have made such an energy impact that it's almost like ripple affected out into the cosmos and is making planes, ships, all sorts of shit just blah, blah, blah.
But it makes a lot of sense as we get into it more because you have to think about quartz crystals and what they're used in. Crystals are used in our cell phones.
Really?
Yeah.
I just thought I wore them.
No, they're used to store data. They're even to this day, people use. It's not just crystals that you have your. I mean, I'm not glossing it. You have your sage, and you you use crystals in your home for different, spiritual.
To get grounded.
Yeah, it's actually they're in computers. Quartz crystals are used in modern day society and technology.
Shut up.
Yes, and we're gonna get into it too.
Okay.
But it started with the Atlanteans.
That's crazy. I didn't know that they were.
So you have to think when these planes go over this giant crystal, it's fucking with all of their stuff.
Because it's like data, crystals being hey,
Yeah,
trying to talk to each other.
It fucks with
and
it.
just fucking with it. That's so
the
crazy.
energy and everything. So the Bermuda Triangle is actually.
I have a new respect for crystals and
Yeah.
shit. I mean, I have a whole box and everything.
And
no wonder my house is like a fucking Bermuda Triangle. I have a whole box of goddamn crystals.
And I mean, it might not be quartz crystals specifically.
Well, I have a lot of smoky quartz and rose quartz. I also have.
Yeah, but I know that quartz crystals is a big one for.
But I keep selenite in it.
Yeah,
because that.
Yeah.
Cleanses.
I know. Yeah, I have a lot of my favorite one too right now that I have is the smoky quartz, because the smoky quartz is supposed to clean and be good for your kidneys, and I have kidney problems, so I always have smoky quartz around me, and I feel like it's actually has healed me in a lot of ways, just having it in the house and holding it and just I don't know if it's psychological or if it's actually manifesting, but it really has. I haven't had a kidney infection and I don't even know when. I couldn't even tell you. And I used to have them frequently when I was a child, all the time. I missed so much school because of them.
Yeah.
So I had my left kidney atrophied and my right kidney atrophied and my left kidney grew larger to compensate. So I mean, I've had you
have massive.
So, I firmly believe in crystals and everything. So when I saw crystals on this one, this is the whole crystal pyramid. That's why I was I have to do Atlantis. It's Bermuda Triangle. It's all connected.
That's so crazy.
So the Bermuda Triangle is situated between Florida and Puerto Rico. It has long been known as a region where many ships, planes have vanished, as we said. One of the eeriest disappearance was of Flight 19. Which was a training mission involving 5 torpedo bombers. The planes left Fort Lauderdale on December 5th, 1945 in routine training, and they never came back. To make it even creepier, the plane dispatched also, the plane that went to search for them also vanished. So they vanished, and then when they went to look for them, they all vanished. So that's just one little example.
I know that planes go there all the time to the islands on Bermuda or in Bermuda. I wonder if it's a certain time when the sun is a certain way and casting onto the crystal.
Maybe pyramid, reflecting the light and the energy.
Something and the energy that makes it most
could be
active.
A beam or something.
Yeah, a beam or something.
Yeah, maybe it fucks with their
Yeah, because it doesn't happen all the time.
No.
It has to be it's once every so often somebody goes, because we could fly to the Bermuda Triangle right now. We looked it up earlier. There is a airport there, an active airport.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't know how or why or what, but it does happen, and it is very suspicious, especially because that's where the supposed Atlanteans like sunk. But there's also an island out there called Andros Island. Andros Island, located in the Bahamas. And in 2003, researchers looked for underwater structures where they were trying to discover like what could be out there, you know, obviously, because a lot of people are always searching. They want to explore that area. And they actually found huge platforms of rectangular stones for hundreds of yards, which is thought to be from the end of the last ice age. And just a little note, because I wrote this note for myself, the last ice age is a period of global cooling that started about 100,000 years ago to 115,000 years ago. That's when it started, but it only ended about 11,700 years ago. And this structure,
that's about the time. Sorry, that's about the time that man came, like us, like this civilization started, right?
And
like,
it's
not about. I mean, like, but really, like that's about the time that civilization started up again.
And it's believed to be that around 11 to 12,000 years ago is when Atlantis would have been located around the area. So Atlantis would have been kind of thriving at the end of the last ice age. Like, they were still there. So the fact that the stones and the structures that they found were dated to that time, it like kind of puts it like maybe Atlantis is in the Bahamas, because they were like carbon dating them to that time.
Okay, I have something that is so out there. So you're saying that the ice age lasted from when to when?
It was about 100,000 years to 115,000 years ago. That's when it started. It's approximately when it started. So there's like a 15,000 window that they're like maybe. But then it ended around 11,700 years ago.
Okay.
So that was like the start of it and then the end of it. In between was like the chunk.
85,000 years of ice age, right? 85,000.
And this is just the end of the last ice age, because the Earth has gone through many cycles.
Blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay. What if... Here we go. Here's my crazy conspiracies. What if Mars is all fire and shit, or whatever it is?
Yep.
Because they're in their not ice age, but something like it.
Okay.
While we're here. And then it's going to like thaw out or, you know, cool down. And then people are going to be there. And then we're going to be ice.
So you think we're going to colonize Mars when our planet turns to ice again? Because of the cycle?
Maybe. Or just the fact that maybe there is life on other planets. And maybe what we're seeing is not time travelers from our Earth, but time travelers from other planets from other times that occurred when we were ice, coming to see like different time periods.
So I get what you're saying, but also do you know that the way that science has depicted that if aliens were to see the Earth now, they would see it as with dinosaurs. So like if they were to, basically the way that the time works in space and time is different from time on Earth, and the way like things happen on Earth, that I'm not talking about the ones that we think are like in the ocean and the ones that are coming to visit us now. It's like if they were to get a transmission from us and we could send a transmission, they would only get a transmission from our dinosaur times.
So 65 million
they
years
wouldn't
ago.
be able to, like, whatever we're putting out there now,
they won't see.
They
for
won't
another
even
65
see.
million.
Yeah, so they would only see us as dinosaurs.
Unless
if it's like a transmission, not like physically see us with our eyes. Like if they came here, yeah, we can wave and be like, "Hey, I see you." If they have the technology, but if they're just getting like signals,
but
it would be,
that's out of our solar system.
Yeah, that's out of our solar system.
And I'm saying Mars.
Mars is in our solar system. You're right. Yeah,
it's like the next planet over.
I don't know. That's really interesting.
Neptune is super icy, What if they're just going through an ice age right now?
They could be, very well, yeah.
And maybe, the other seasons of not ice every,
there is
100,000,
actual, like,
there's
they could
life
have life,
and
yeah. It's
maybe
very
we
plausible.
just bounce from planet to planet to planet and start over.
Yeah.
And start over.
Like almost like different dimensions.
Or just different planets.
Well, have you heard that the Bermuda Triangle is also known as the Devil's Triangle?
Yes.
Okay. So, the Devil's Triangle is a region of the northwestern Atlantic Ocean, which a number of aircraft and surface vessels have disappeared, like we stated. Some people have claimed that these disappearances fall beyond the boundaries of human error or natural, acts of, there was a waves and they just crashed because of this or that or whatever.
Meteor.
Yeah. So a lot of these are actually been thought to be contributed to paranormal or suspicious laws of physics.
Because nobody understands crystals.
Or activity by extraterrestrial beings. So a lot of that goes back to the crystal pyramids, that they are to blame because planes of ships have crashed. And then in 2012, a kind of a conspiracy emerged in 2012 that did suggest that a huge crystal crystal pyramid about 1.24 miles in the sea below the Bermuda Triangle was to blame of it, like we basically just discussed. The other notes about this is basically just to state that I know that we did talk a little bit about Antarctica in a previous
the subterranean culture.
yeah. So Plato also talked about Antarctica.
Really?
Surprisingly, yeah. So Plato talked about a civilization from 30,000 years ago, and he believed that this civilization lived at the South Pole in Antarctica. And
Shut up.
Yeah, and he believed that this civilization actually originated from space.
Shut up.
Yes. And in Plato's writings describing the last days of Atlantis, he stated that the reason why Atlantis fell or sunk or whatever was because there was a pole shift, and that when the pole shifted, it was moved under, meaning the pole, it melted, the ice melted, there was a great flood, almost like Noah and the Bible and all biblical times.
Yeah.
But he didn't reference the Bible, but he did reference that there was a pole shift.
But that's also another thing where they say the poles are going to shift. Mm-hmm. And it will cause, that's global warming, the pole shifting.
Yes. So he stated that when this pole shift in the South Pole happened.
In Plato's time, they didn't even believe that they still thought the world was flat.
I don't know. I didn't look that up. I believe that you, I trust that you probably do know that, yes. But I don't know what he thought about if it was flat or not.
Maybe he didn't believe that.
But,
right,
even if the world is flat, it could still flood, right? I don't know how that
the
would
water
work.
would just fall off the edge, I thought.
I don't know
I
if that's what
know.
I don't know if that's what people, when they say the world is flat, I don't know if they mean it will literally fall off the edge or if it's just a flat
Well, yeah,
plane.
they thought that they would just fall off the edge.
Okay, I didn't know
when
that.
Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, they thought he would just fall off the edge.
I have a different idea of what flat earthers think flat Earth is.
I do too. I
but
have a different one
that's
too.
a whole other podcast.
Yeah,
that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not for it or against it. It's just a theory that I've heard. It's
a theory that I've thought of myself.
Yeah, it's different than falling off the edge. It's just like a flat plane.
Circle.
It's like a plane.
It's like a disc,
but like a plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay, go on.
So basically, when there was that pole shift in the South Pole, Atlantis was then moved under the ice, where the current South Pole and the pole shifted to where it currently is located, and that after that shift, their entire bases and artifacts and civilization and everything was then pushed under the ice in Antarctica, and then it contained, because he believed it was from space, extraterrestrials, home bases, and the governments, and all the governments in the entire world are working. Now, this is like fast forward. Plato didn't think the world government, but now going fast forward with what we've known and the way that Antarctica, how everybody has like a stake in Antarctica, and after what happened with Admiral Byrd, and you guys got to go listen to that whole podcast. That fast forward all of that.
That's the subterranean cultural. I think that's episode 7, 9,
I think
or
it's
12.
14.
14?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm way off.
But the entire world's government are working with them being the extraterrestrials as discussed before in episode 14.
Oh, I guess it is episode 14 then.
I literally have a note right here. So that's why Antarctica is so heavily protected, because of the resources, because of the subterranean civilization, which is extraterrestrial, which gave and
It's
basically helped Antarctica, like gave Atlantis, I'm getting confused, gave Atlantis the technology and helped them to build the pyramids, to get everything to connect, because there's reportedly these similar pyramids in Antarctica. And what I didn't even get into with the whole Admiral Byrd in episode 14 is one thing I failed to mention, and this is like a little revision right here, is that when he went down there, not only did he meet with the beings, but he saw crystal cities. The whole city was made of crystals.
Shut up.
I don't know how I fucking didn't mention that. But yeah, the whole city was made of crystals. Not necessarily pyramids. Maybe there was. I don't know. I didn't see that. But it was just all like crystals, because crystals are conducting like the energy and everything, and storing the information.
We are so gonna get murdered.
No.
For connecting all these pieces.
So now, what about star people?
No.
It all goes together.
Of course it does, and that's why we're gonna get murdered.
So
it's all connected, and we're all gonna get murdered.
So star people have been reported by who? Native Americans, specifically Pueblo natives, the Hopi tribe, and multiple other Pueblo natives. But their traditions have detailed the end of the third world, which is the time of the Great Flood, in their timeline and their traditions of Native American, due to human greed and man not following the spiritual truths of our Creator, our gods, who descended from the heavens, who descended in crafts from the heavens, gods, extraterrestrial, aliens, I don't know. It's however the Native American perceived them. Atlantis was also supposedly destroyed by a great flood, which the natives believed was part of the third world when it was all destroyed. So, I don't know.
Are we in the third world then?
No.
I was just reading last night.
We would be like in the fourth, I believe. I don't know what we would be in. I don't know. That's a good question.
I was reading the other night, or last night, about the 7 signs of the world ending.
You should do an episode on that.
I was going to. That's what I was like. I looked
Yeah,
at it,
that's
and
a
I
good
was
one.
Continuing forward with that, yeah.
So the other Native Americans who also touched on this was the Aztecs. So the Aztecs were the Native Americans which were located in like the Mexico area. But you have to remember, Mexico used to be all like, it was all one, like before there was borders and stuff. So the Native Americans, the Aztecs, they have a legend of the lost city of Aslan, which was a man-made island.
No shit.
Man-made island surrounded by a body of water, which was believed to be built from help from the star people or the gods. See how it connects? Yes.
Everything is connected.
And they also, the Aztecs are known for having like pyramid-like structures.
And that's why they're all confused why there's pyramids in Egypt and
because
Mexico,
the pyramids are all over the world.
They are.
Pyramids are not just in Egypt. People forget. They think pyramids, Egypt.
The Mayan pyramids.
Pyramids are all over the world. And Aslan was sacred to the people living there. They wanted to be separated from the general population, and they built a huge city, like a huge golden, like copper city, in the honor of these gods, similar to the Atlantis and with the
city of gold and the
everything.
Aztec city of gold.
Aztec. So,
wow,
numerous land masses have been found sunken in the oceans all over the world, like in present day. So there is an area called Doggerland, which would have been part of the United Kingdom if it was still like above sea level. And there's also, and this is a huge landmass that's sunken under the sea level. And there's also another one that has sunken under the sea level called Zealandia, which is right off of New Zealand, which was just discovered in 2017. So, like, they're constantly discovering land masses that
they don't
have
know anything
sunken.
about the ocean.
Yeah.
And you know what? In 200, 500 years, 5,000 years, 20,000 years, you know what they're going to find? Beachfront property in fucking Arizona, because California will be in the fucking ocean.
Oh, that's my last little chapter here, actually.
Sorry.
No,
you're jumping the gun. I'm
no,
sorry.
you're not. You're right on trend right here, okay? So, it is thought, and then we get into, like, present day, right? It is thought that with global warming, the change in the Earth's climate and our ice caps are melting, the sea levels are going to be rising, which would change the landscape of our land masses worldwide, causing our civilizations to sink like those of the past. But how much would actually sink, right? So the simple answer is probably not to cause an entire continent to sink, but rather change the coastlines. Let's say all of Greenland, Antarctica, all of the mountain glaciers all over the world, any other place that has a significant amount of ice, if they all melted, all of the ice melted in the world. Scientists today, with our technology, predict that sea level will only rise by 230 feet. Which would cause, to put it into perspective, the U.S. to lose the entire state of Florida, most of the East Coast, like, line states, like the coastal states, the southern, any little islands, you know, and I'm only talking about United States, but this would be worldwide, obviously. The southern states would almost all entirely disappear, as well as most of California. And it would affect the entire world and obviously all of the land masses. But that's kind of like where they say it's conspiracy. Like, they would say, like, oh, that's cap, because even if everything melted, we still wouldn't lose an entire continent. That's why people are saying, like, oh, it's not possible that Atlantis sunk. It's not even real. It's a myth because blah, blah, blah. It wouldn't have sunk because even if everything we have now melted with the great amount of ice that we have now, if everything melted, none of our shit would just be completely gone. Maybe like a little island, but a lot of people did say it was an island. Some people say it's a continent. So, I don't know, like, that's what I got. So I don't know. You be the judge.
I'm thinking. I'm processing. Give me a second.
Right. It's a lot. Yeah.
I'm processing. Hold on. Tick, 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 tick. I do. I'm having thoughts. Some of my thoughts are that like, mountains near us are more than 200 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I guess those mountains would turn into little islands. I think that it would, but, like, I don't know.
230 feet.
Yeah, I know.
All around the world.
Well, we're already like 100 feet up in my house. Maybe
I mean,
50.
yeah, I mean, that is a lot. Like, that is a lot.
You think about it, and we're at least 50 feet up because we have to go 50 feet high to get to my house, at least.
Yeah.
And
this is sea level, not 230 like feet, like from here to, like, you throw a rock. Like,
no,
it's like
sea level. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, sea level.
Yeah.
And you know that we're at least 50 feet sea level up right here. Mm-hmm. And we're pretty, like, if you look out the window, you can see the ocean.
Yeah.
So we're already like ocean level, but not. And then you go up the road, you know, an hour.
No, this area would be gone.
It would be gone.
It would be gone.
But you think about the mountains, like where my house is in the desert.
Yeah.
I think that's 170, so that would be gone.
Yeah.
But we are getting higher.
Most of California
that
would
is
be
true,
gone.
because that's like...
And not just California, all along, like, you gotta think there's Mexico below us, and then Oregon, and Washington, like, all of that coast.
My parents sold their beachfront property in Arizona.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
But they used to say we'd fall in the ocean because of an earthquake.
Maybe do another story on that one.
Yeah.
So I guess the moral of the story is, you know, recycle, reuse, like reduce. Like, really watch your carbon footprint on the planet. And Earth Month is coming up soon in April, or Earth Day. April 20th is usually Earth Day, or April 25th. April 25th, I think, is Earth Day.
I think it's a Saturday between them.
It's somewhere in there in April. So
so what I say is, fuck that.
We're all gonna sink anyway.
We're all gonna get fucked up anyways. We're all gonna die anyways. And
if the Romans couldn't survive and the Atlanteans couldn't survive, we're all doomed.
So fuck this. Have a drink. Move along.
La grasa.
Enjoy life while you can, because you know what? Anything that I do, I'm just kidding, kind of. I do pick up my trash. I don't litter.
No,
I do my fair share.
Yeah.
But I don't. I do use recyclable bags or reusable bags because I like buying them for everything. But I'm not like super crazy.
You gotta do what you can do, and
because at the end of the
I mean,
world,
it's not like you're not throwing trash on the ground.
No,
and, like,
we're not allowed to do that. We
littering
don't do that. Nope.
Yeah.
And we teach the kids, like, that's not okay. Like, at all.
You're very mindful.
We do. We have so much respect for the earth and such, but I'm also not the crazy person that's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but don't litter. Have fun. That's all. Like,
just leave it better than how you found it. Leave the earth better how you found it. Like, you know, like for everything in life.
But you don't need to be vegan. Eat meat. Meat's good. Fucking bacon. Amazing. Don't get rid of the cows, because remember how the cows make the methane, the CO2.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. I like my cows. So
I mean, I grew up in a ranch, so I'm definitely a meat eater. I don't think that's ever gonna change.
Yeah, no.
Because like
so,
we like had the butcher come out and like slaughter pigs and stuff, and like no.
Yep, God put that shit on earth for a reason. Like,
I mean, as long as you're humane and like you're doing it the right way,
you gotta put the bullet between the eyes.
You gotta be like right about it for everything you do. Yeah, just leave it better than how you found it, and treat everything with love and kindness. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and follow us and listen to us on where you enjoy all your favorite podcasts.
And email us conspiraciesunlocked@gmail.com with all of your UFO crazy adventures, anything. Likes, thoughts, comments, etc. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.